In every era, there are people who walk through the world untouched by chaos. They are not loud, they are not dramatic, they do not seek approval, applause, or recognition. Yet their presence carries a strange gravity, a calmness that disarms the deceptive, frustrates the manipulative, and unsettles anyone who tries to control them. The ancient Stoics mastered this way of being long before our modern world drowned itself in noise, distraction, and emotional instability. They learned the truth that most people today still have not realized. Nobody can manipulate the mind that governs itself. In a world built on persuasion, pressure, guilt, expectations, and silent psychological warfare, the greatest shield you will ever own is mastery over your own perception. Epictetus called it your prohairesis, the inner citadel, the one part of you no one can touch unless you open the gate for them. Most people never discover this. They spend their lives reacting, pleasing, apologizing, explaining, overthinking, and surrendering their peace to the moods of others. They believe manipulation happens through words, but true manipulation happens through your own untrained emotions. This video exposes 7 Stoic habits that turn you into someone who sees through people, stays centered under pressure, and cannot be emotionally hijacked. These habits are not loud and they are not glamorous. They are subtle, disciplined, and relentlessly rational. Master them, and you will walk through the world with the quiet confidence of someone who cannot be steered, provoked, or deceived. Let us begin. Habit 1, the habit of slow interpretation. The first Stoic habit is the discipline of slow interpretation. Manipulators thrive when you react fast, assume quickly, and let emotions guide your judgment. Weak people jump to conclusions because they fear uncertainty, silence, and discomfort. They want instant clarity, even if it comes from a lie. But the Stoic flips this pattern. Instead of reacting, he observes. Instead of assuming, he investigates. Instead of rushing, he allows truth to reveal itself over time. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we must give things time to settle, because what appears urgent is rarely understood with accuracy in the moment. Manipulators hate this. They need you emotional, immediate, and impulsive. They need you to respond before you think. But slow interpretation forces their games into the open. When someone pressures you, pushes you, flatters you, or guilt trips you, pause. Let the fog clear. Ask yourself, is this real, or is this someone trying to influence my state? Practical reflection. When something triggers you, wait 1 full minute before responding. Breathe. Observe your mind. You will be shocked how much manipulation collapses when you simply stop giving instant emotional reactions. Habit 2. The habit of self-validation. The second Stoic habit is learning to validate yourself before the world has the chance to define you. Manipulation feeds on insecurity. Those who crave external approval are the easiest to control. A manipulator offers praise when he wants your loyalty and withholds it when he wants your obedience. He will make you question your worth, so you cling to his opinion for reassurance. The Stoic refuses this trap. His sense of value comes from what he controls, his actions, his intentions, his character. Epictetus said that if you depend on another person to feel worthy, you have handed them your freedom. To understand this, imagine a common scenario. Someone criticizes you subtly, not to help you grow, but to weaken you. The insecure person spirals, apologizes, tries to fix the other person's mood. The Stoic examines the criticism calmly and asks, is this true? If yes, I adjust my behavior. If not, I disregard it entirely. Daily practice. Every morning, repeat a simple grounding question. What do I control today? Let the answer be your anchor. When your worth is internally sourced, no praise lifts you too high and no insult brings you too low. Manipulation loses its leverage. Habit 3. The habit of unbreakable calm. The third habit is the ability to remain calm under provocation. Manipulators try to disturb your emotional equilibrium because a disturbed mind is easy to steer. Anger, fear, urgency, and guilt cloud judgment. Calmness restores clarity. Stoicism teaches the dichotomy of control. You control your responses, not the actions of others. This truth becomes a shield. When someone tries to trigger you, your calmness frustrates their intention and exposes their strategy. To strengthen this habit, the Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, mentally rehearsing challenges before they happen. Imagine someone insulting you, blaming you, or provoking you. See yourself remaining unmoved. This rehearsal creates emotional muscle memory. It prepares your mind to stay steady when the moment comes. Manipulators depend on your surprise and your emotional volatility. But when calmness becomes your baseline, their tactics bounce off you like stones thrown at a fortress. Your stillness becomes power. Your composure becomes dominance. Your refusal to be provoked becomes the end of their control. Habit 4. The habit of selective connection. The fourth habit is choosing people instead of chasing them. Most manipulation occurs because people fear losing others. They cling, compromise, and lower their standards to avoid abandonment. Marcus Aurelius taught that we must align ourselves with those who uplift our character, not those who drain it. Time is a limited resource. Energy is a sacred currency. Life is short, and the Stoic understands that every relationship shapes who he becomes. When you chase people, you hand them authority over your emotions. When you choose people, you exercise authority over your life. The Stoic selects connections based on virtue, honesty, mutual respect, and emotional stability. This is not arrogance, it is awareness of mortality. When you remember that you have only a certain number of days left, you stop wasting them on people who pull you away from your principles. And something remarkable happens. High standards attract those who value themselves. When you no longer fear losing the wrong people, the right ones gravitate toward your clarity, integrity, and strength. Manipulators cannot attach themselves to someone who refuses to be led by fear. Habit 5. The habit of consistency judgment. The fifth habit is evaluating people not by their words, but by their consistency. Manipulators are excellent talkers. They promise change, apologize repeatedly, and craft the perfect emotional sentences. But Stoicism trains you to see patterns, not performances. The Stoics believed character is revealed through repeated action. A person may lie with words, but they cannot lie with their habits. This is where the rule of 3 becomes powerful. Never judge someone by a single event. Observe their behavior across 3 separate situations, 3 emotional states, or 3 moments of pressure. If the story stays the same, you have truth. If the story changes, you have manipulation. Stoicism also encourages logical evaluation. Ask, does this behavior align with their stated values? Does their apology lead to real change? Does their kindness appear only when they want something? Logical analysis breaks emotional illusions. Manipulators crumble when you see them clearly. Consistency is the lens that reveals their real identity. Habit 6. The habit of protecting energy. The 6th habit is guarding your energy like currency. Every interaction costs something: time, focus, emotional bandwidth. Stoicism views energy as capital. Spend it wisely and your life expands. Waste it on chaos and your life contracts. Manipulators rely on emotional taxation. They drain you through guilt, drama, and constant demands. The Stoic introduces a powerful tool, the guiltless no. Not a harsh no, not a defensive no, but a clear, calm, unapologetic boundary that protects your inner resources. To make this practical, use the 3-step Stoic framework. Step 1. Pause before agreeing to anything. Do not commit while emotional. Step 2. Evaluate whether the request aligns with your values, your priorities, and your available energy. Step 3. Respond with clarity. If it drains you, decline. If it strengthens you, accept. This simple framework removes confusion. Manipulators cannot exploit someone who refuses to spend energy unintentionally. Your boundaries become a wall they cannot climb. Habit 7. The habit of strategic silence. The 7th habit is the power of silence. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. Manipulators rely on reaction. They push your buttons to study your emotional map. But silence gives them nothing. It denies them information, denies them access, and denies them influence. Distance is a form of data. When you step back, you see the truth of a person more clearly. You observe who becomes desperate, who becomes angry, who becomes respectful, and who fades away. Silence reveals intention. Psychologically, it unsettles manipulators because their power depends on engagement. When you refuse to engage, you take away the arena in which they operate. Stoic silence is not about ignoring others. It is about refusing to participate in emotional battles that do not serve your peace. When you master the discipline of silence, when you speak only with purpose and remain quiet with confidence, people feel your strength, and manipulators lose their influence entirely. All 7 habits lead to one unifying Stoic principle: mastery of the self. Manipulation thrives where self-ignorance, emotional chaos, and weak boundaries exist. But when you interpret slowly, validate yourself internally, remain calm, choose your people wisely, judge consistency, guard your energy, and use silence as a weapon, you become someone who cannot be steered by pressure or emotional games. The Stoics did not try to control the world. They trained themselves to control their responses so the world could not control them. This is your path now. If you found strength in this message, comment with the line, "I choose peace." Let it be your declaration of inner sovereignty. And remember this final truth: a person who governs himself becomes ungovernable to others.